Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, genders of all ages, welcome to A Link to the Past Randomizer. I am the Goblin here with Walter. How's it going, Walter?
It's going good. I'm really excited. I know both of these runners quite well, so it's going to be interesting to see them play this out. It should be a pretty even race, I think.
Yeah, I couldn't said it better. I think both of these guys are pretty up there in terms of skill level, so should be a pretty good match.
Yeah, we'll see both of our runners have their boots already, because every race in the SG Live A Link to the Past Randomizer tournament here is open boots, so we're never going to have to worry about finding those boots. Kind of nice for the runners, and to start with the boots. So, I mean, it's kind of nice to see some boots execution happening as well.
Yeah, I haven't heard too much complaints about the boot starts. And to note, when you do see the original spot the boots were supposed to be, you will see 20 rupees pop up. Actually, green 20 rupees. That'll be where the boots would have been had the seed been a normal seed.
Yep. I think all of my seeds in this tournament so far, they have been in Kakariko, so it would have been open boots no matter what.
I was about to say, most of the matches I've watched, they're always in Kakariko for some reason.
Ooh, early map check there from Qirn. They're both going with the strat of heading straight for Sashula set here.
Yeah, I like this. It's not too bad to quick there. 3 quick checks. You don't have to use a bomb or anything. I believe I saw 2 pendants at least in the light world. Hera and Eastern, I believe, are pendants.
Yeah, and then a normal crystal on this route.
See if anybody gets the green crystal information. A green pendant, jeez.
I wouldn't mind having a green crystal. He's getting additional item from Sashula.
Yeah, no doubt. That would be pretty nice. Synchronized save and quits.
Yep. Fear's just slightly ahead of Qirn because of that map check, but otherwise they're pretty much just holding hands right now. When Qirn making up a little bit of time there by not getting hit by that guard, so they're pretty much just synchronized again.
Yeah, the pretty standard opening check in casual boots, checking bonk rocks, getting out of the way, and then checking to see if you have to do our good old friend Aga one.
Yeah, but a lot of times, actually, Qirn is going to skip that for now, but yeah, a lot of times you see people skip that because you don't have the boots, and you don't really need to worry about the lumberjack until you have boots anyways. And when you do get the boots, you want to check bonk rocks, so it's like right next to the lumberjack anyways. The Qirn skipping that now, it might not come back for quite some time until he has like Ag access or even already beaten Aga. It is just a blue cane though, so probably won't need to do that. Only thing logically would need the blue cane for would be Spike Cave. You can usually sequence break that.
And so it's a second bottle in the forest. Yeah, I'm actually surprised. I don't think I've seen anybody actually skip that Aga check just because the boots start. So it'll be interesting to see. Luckily, if he never comes back, he's not going to know he's missing nothing. But I saw the cane, and I was hoping it was red cane, but he lucked out, I think.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Fear got 4 bombs from his tree pool. Qirn got the red rupees. So I think he's set up for a higher tier first, and now doing a second tier here in the Kakariko village. That's why he released the bee to kill the bird before leaving the forest.
I have never ever seen anybody pull that picture in that house. That's amazing. Guess you learn something about this game every time you watch one of these top tier runners.
Yeah, if there's something Qirn is known for and likes to do is obscure game knowledge and implementing it into random runs.
And it's instantly going to pay off, knowing for sure that by the time he's done CAC in the well, he's going to have bottle vendor money, which is always nice.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think he actually already did it.
Yeah, I think he did too. I missed what it was, but there's nothing on the tracker, so I think it wasn't anything important.
Yeah. You'll feel like it was something like that. Yeah, they're pretty much synced up again there. Taking one additional detour each. And you know, there's the boots in Kakariko.
Yep, in Kakariko as usual.
As soon as we start playing normal open again, you're gonna find the boots in GT every time.
I swear, ever since this started, every normal seed I roll, the boots are nowhere to be found. So it's kind of funny to see them always in Kakariko.
Yeah. So we got a bow there, which is like one of the reasonings for maybe not going central early, because you might have to run there later anyways. Eastern is a pennant though, so they might not want to rush that anyways.
Yeah, sort of a bittersweet find. It's nice to find a bow because a bow hunt always really sucks, but getting it when Eastern's a pennant and you don't know what pot is kind of iffy. But I think most runners would be pretty happy to see a bow. Yeah,
overall it's definitely good. Qirn didn't look too pleased about that missed chicken clip there. So fun fact, every time you do a chicken clip, you actually put yourself in the risk of potentially soft blocking yourself, having to save and quit. So
yep,
taking that risk and didn't even get the glitch off. Gotta feel bad at that point.
He's here to entertain us. He's here to entertain us. Oh, can you imagine soft locking in a race trying to check clip though, man? I don't know if I could live that down if I did that myself.
Yeah, I've definitely done that once and then never done the chicken clip again. But luckily, it wasn't in like a high stake situation like this. Ooh, nice hook shot on the race game there. We didn't really get too much from Kakariko, but the hook shot is a nice one.
Yeah, I usually subscribe to the theory that I sort of base, you know, if I didn't get too much in the actual village itself, I'll just, you know, roll the dice on this. It seems to work okay, but a lot of people, especially with boots, it's so fast to check and get back, right? I think it makes sense to skip it at first and then come back if you need.
I know, actually, in fact, that Qirn did that strat yesterday in his race. And then it didn't work out, so maybe he had that in the back of his mind.
Yeah, the other thing too is, you know, I'm not really a racer. I'm a casual player, but I mean, these guys are top tier. So, you know, that's what 10, 15 extra seconds to check and then run back. I mean, that we've seen that literally make a difference in games in this tournament. So I can understand trying to cut corners where you can if you feel like it's going to be a difference maker.
Yeah, I think it was Ralkin versus fearagent had a race that was 2 seconds apart. So
yeah,
some of those races, every little bit of second that you waste here and there, it's like it's gonna come back to bite you or like haunt you afterwards if you lose by just such a small time difference.
So finally some divergence. Happy to see Qirn giving his dying uncle some love. As an uncle starter myself, it makes me sad that seems to be a dying tradition, but getting that check out of the way always probably feels pretty good. Oh, the bomb grab.
Yeah, he's gonna farm up some more rupees here. I think that's why he killed the green guards as well. So he got 4 kills here. That should give him 80 more rupees here. So he might be hoping to have enough money for Sora once he's doing Subshore. So if he gets like a glove here or something like that, he could do a hula hand. Actually, even without the gloves, he could do a little bit more time-consuming hula hand as well.
Well, there's our first glove over in Mini Moldorm, along with a fire rod and a couple of big 20s and a piece of heart.
Yeah, fire rod and bow is an interesting combo because that kind of potentially puts Eastern into logic now. Ooh, nice sword in the escape sequence here as well.
Yeah, I believe with a fire rod, the back of Eastern is in logic, right? Because you can fire rod that room to light it up and get the bow to make it through. So obviously the far chest is out of logic, but technically I mean these runners are going to get that. But the back of Pendant Eastern is in Logic.
Yeah, the only chest that isn't in Logic with the fire rod is that vanilla big chest. So the boss kind of depends on if the big key is there or not.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, it does depend on the big. If the big key is in its vanilla location, then it's obviously not in Logic. One of the nice quality of life situations of having boots early is basically getting the free water walk from Ice Rod Cave. Always a big plus.
Yeah, the downside though is that we have seen a lot of Sora skips because of it, because it's so free to do the water walk over here, but you usually don't have money that fast, which is why Fear is just heading to the waterfall first, and then probably gonna check the ledge here, and then after that might even head back to Hobo as well, and be able to check the Lake Highly at the same time.
Yeah, I see a lot of runners, hope to get a mirror in decent time and just route it in with Catfish because, yeah, you're right, it's just so free to just go check this, right? You don't have to worry about getting a Moon Pearl because otherwise you can't get in that cave, etc.
Yeah, so I think that's probably partly why Qirn went to the castle first, because he did have that information about the tree pool, so he could get some extra money. That would kind of improve his odds for getting Sora access here, because now he only needs a 300 rupee to get bailed out.
Oh, Qirn down to half a heart in the Dark Cross.
Yeah, he has to be real careful here. Okay,
clutch heart drop.
And yeah, nice heart drop. Oh yeah, okay, he was in the second room here. I thought he was in the chest room.
Oh, he's still in the snake room. Okay, he got through. Yeah, it was a bit rough.
Yeah, they kind of blocked the stairs there for him for a while. He should be good here. Can actually, but when you have the boots, you can actually bonk. Yeah, it looks like he's doing it. Bonk against the torch at the bottom, and that will put you into the right position to open up the chest if you just hold up.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Okay.
It looks like Qirn did get a small key as well. So, oh yeah, they got small key in Sanctuary, I think. So he's gonna head all the way to the back, and
yep,
gonna
and
do a little bit of high five here.
Yeah, Qirn's coming. Or they're gonna. Fury's just coming from the back, and Qirn's coming from the front. So this will be interesting. So far, I haven't seen anything out of Escape except for that sword in the front.
Yeah, I think that was about it. The back was kind of empty. So it never feels too good to go all the way to the back, this long way around, especially when there's nothing here. But he has that done at the very least. Let's open the last chest, which he should have known is the map, but after just going through that long, dark room sequence, might not have been at the top priority in his mind.
Yeah, no doubt. He might be a little bit, probably not too much, but a touch peeved now once he finds his glove here in Mini Moldorm.
Yeah, it's very easy in like Rando, or just like any kind of speedrunning where you don't have information about how your opponent is doing, to just feel super behind, especially like any little bit of mistake you do can make you feel behind. And if you have like one or two early game, then that's not a very good way to start the game. Like, your mindset is going to be that you're behind already.
Yeah, instantly behind. Yeah, I've heard that talked about a lot. Yeah, most runners, predicted their opponent will have the most optimal, plays and routing well. So you instantly feel behind once you don't, keep up with the curve, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, I think it can be both a good and a bad thing. Like, it can be a good thing in terms of you having to try your best to catch up, and therefore doing some more like high skill plays, but at the same time, like, you don't want to get too focused on that and just start making like more like risky plays, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's what makes Rando great to watch, because obviously these runners, they, unless if they're really, really far behind, I think they have an idea if they really mess up. But otherwise, I think they're just in perpetual like I'm either slightly behind or I'm, you know, a good chunk behind. So that's when you see some interesting plays happen.
Yep, and it looks like Qirn is going to leave the Ice Road cave for now. Probably gonna bank on not going there until he has the money. So they're both gonna head into desert here. With the or actually it could have been like the Glove and Fire Rod changing his mind because they both have full access to full clearing desert actually.
Yeah, and I think this is all we have left, right? I don't. I'm trying to think of. I mean, they can go up the mountain out of logic, right? But
yeah, we have
logic checks.
Eastern area. And,
Oh right, right.
Sora is technically in logic with the gloves as well.
Oh yes, Sora, right.
And for Fear, it would be like front of the castle, and for Qirn, it would be Ice Rock Cave as well, which they both had like done on their own adventures here.
So I think the last thing you really want to find here is like a cape or a second sword.
Oh, there's a
Pearl's
Moon
nice,
Pearl. That's a good start. Definitely gonna need that sooner or later. Well, probably sooner rather than later.
Yeah, yeah. One item away from Dark World access now, either a second glove or a hammer. I think most runners would choose the hammer. I know I would.
Yeah, hammer is definitely nice to have going into Dark World. The myths kind of blocks a lot of areas, but they block them in like good chunks next to each other. While missing hammer, you can do a lot of like small dips into dungeons and stuff like that, which is very awkward when you're trying to be efficient in the routing.
Yeah, it's always the worst feeling when you get mirror and hammer and you see that, you know, pendant swamp is open to do the front and left side. It feels kind of gross.
Yeah, that's always a scary position to be in. I wouldn't be too surprised if one of our runners, if there's like nothing left here. I'm not sure if we got both items or just one so far, but
yep. The other item was sorry, go ahead.
No, what was the other item?
Blue mail in the big chest.
Ooh, alright, that's pretty nice. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see one or maybe even both of them sequence break up the mountain. But at the same time, wouldn't be surprised to see him go to Eastern as well, because Eastern is very likely the place of progression for them right now. So you might want to have that progression before you head up the mountain anyways, in case it's like a hammer, so you can like do more stuff up on the mountain. Or even nets would open up a lot more on the mountain.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I see that a lot. Runners sort of trying to make the the single mountain trip because it's so efficient to just do it all at once and never have to make that climb over and over.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird balance. Like, we don't know what the next progression is going to be, but if our progression leads to something up on the mountain, it could be either that like you just get the flute or lamp so you can get up the mountain in Eastern, which you could just like get later, and if it's lamp, maybe skip entirely. But if you go up the mountain, yeah. But if you go up the mountain, you also risk being knocking on the mountain, and then all of a sudden you might feel quite behind because you're gonna do extra checks on the mountain or extra trips up there.
Yeah, I have to agree. I feel like there's going to be either or maybe both if we're lucky in Easter's holding our lamp or flute.
Yeah, Fear's gonna start with castle. I think that makes kind of sense. He knows that everything in the front of the castle is still items, and then he has the two on the uncle as well. But for Qirn, who already did all of the castle, his options are a lot more limited right now. Missed one of some of the fire rod shots there, but this had the both bow and the sword as the backup. One more
only got
bow hit should
hard
be enough. Yeah, luckily the rocks only deal half a heart, and the taking a hug definitely still does 1 heart. Blue mail actually doesn't even change the breakpoints on this fight.
Qirn looks like he's got his thinking face on. What he's thinking where he wants to go next.
Yep, we'll find out quite soon. Alright, he's starting at Sank, so he's gonna head up the mountain.
Probably gonna get his Aga ledge check in here, I would imagine. You know, when else would you do it?
Oh, that's true. He never did that.
I was trying to think of how he's so far ahead of Fear. I mean, this isn't, I mean, an extra 10 seconds, but...
Yeah, Fear is, he went over to Ice Road Cave and then did, like, the water walk stuff up to do the flipper locations. So that's what
that's what's missing from here. Okay. He is going to have Zora money when he heads up there, so that's going to be pretty interesting if it is Zora.
Yeah, it's very nice not being able to isolate too many locations, especially if the seed ends up being fairly like Mina later on.
So Qirn must have pulled what? He pulled the tree at least 3 or 4 times to get 80 rupees, right? So that tree pull knowledge, saving his bacon here. If it is Zora.
Yeah, at least 3 times, and it was a tier. I think it was tier 3 tree pull, which means you need to kill 4 enemies and not taking any damage. So he has definitely put in some work for that money. Looks like Fears can head up the mountain as well, so it doesn't really matter too much if this is the correct play or not, since both are gonna do it. So if there's nothing up here, none of them would really lose any time compared to their opponent. But of course they won't know that.
Yeah, and I mean, no one can blame them for really putting off Pen and Eastern. Especially if you have a chance maybe where you can pair it in with a pod, you know, once you get into the Dark World and get a mirror.
Yeah, I was interested to see if anyone would go for the Eastern play, just because like they at least do have the bow, so they know that there's no way they're isolating any items in Eastern.
Yeah, and unless I'm missing something, our progression has to be there, right?
Yeah, that or Sora.
Right, or Zora. I keep forgetting about Zora.
Yeah, hopefully, like, just our runners won't. Because it definitely is one of those locations that are pretty easy to forget about once you've been there the first time around. Oh, there's our mitts, so very likely just a lamp or fluid in Eastern or Sora.
Yep.
Now there is still the possibility of a hammer in Eastern, which our runners are going to have to pay some attention to. If they find like a flute and lamp in the Dark World, they should know hammer has to be there, or Sora. Oh, that's a rough jump there for Fear. Does have that fairy, but still,
yeah, you hate to burn it there.
Yeah, it's going to be one less safety to have in the Dark World, and also like kind of time consuming too. Like it's not as time consuming as a death, but it still takes like a good like 15 seconds maybe. And yeah, we do have blue mail, but we only have 5 hearts so far, 6 hearts so far.
Yeah, not too. I mean, not too healthy yet. Not terrible. You know, they head in the Dark World with 5 hearts and blue mail, but oh, here we go. Vanilla red crystals. I saw Meyer and TR. I missed where the pendant was.
Green pendant was on Swamp. So a potential mirrorless seed coming up here.
You hope so, right?
I mean, in one way you kind of don't, but at the same time, if you're not going to get the mirror early, you might as well not get it at all before you start isolating too many mirror spots.
Qirn picking up his Master Sword in Super Bunny Cave. So that glove already paying dividends. And vanilla Quake to get in too.
Yep.
Is this even randomized? Sorry, I had to do it.
I mean, so far I think every single item has been vanilla, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to remember you start with boots in the vanilla game.
Just about, right? Just about.
Well, there's one coin, not the correct one for Tart Rock, but it might be required if Mr. Meyer has a vanilla medallion requirement as well.
Yep, key under the mat, but maybe it's to the garage because it ain't to the house.
Yeah, it's put the key on the wrong mat. If you're doing one of those map checks as well, it's good to get that map check up here on Death Mountain so you can kind of plan ahead a little bit in the Dark World. I guess with myths, it doesn't really matter that much because you only have one access point into the Dark World anyways. Looks like Qirn is going to head straight into Skullwoods. Did see him practice a little bit of Fighter Sword Mafia before this race started, so Master Sword definitely is a bit better than that.
Yeah, and it makes total sense going straight for the back with the fire rod that we found in Mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah, I think if it's a crystal, that should almost always be the play, unless you feel extremely uncomfortable with your equipment going in. Because it's just a potential big time gain compared to what you stand to lose. Like, he's gonna head back through Skullwoods down into the Dark World anyways. Oh, it looks like he is actually gonna do the front first though. Oh, no, never mind. He regretted it right away.
He forgot he had the fire rod.
Yeah, he didn't look too happy with himself with that exit there.
Alright, looks like Fear's gonna head over and give us King's Tomb.
Yeah, that's a nice heads up play there from Fear. I think Qirn actually missed doing that before heading into the Dark World.
Yep, I don't think he did it. I think you're right. And a good old bug net. Other logic bug net, oh boy.
Yeah, won't help much in Skullwoods, although one would think it would help, I guess, Mafia.
Yeah, you would think, right?
I would
Start
totally be
with the
down.
bug net to do tempered sword damage to Mafia.
Yeah, that would be sweet if that was the case. Nice usage out of the fire rod there. It does have a green potion as well, so you're just gonna burn it right away here to try and speed up the fight and be a bit safe here, and definitely well worth it. It's a very quick Mafia fight. Like, the biggest time save on a boss is not dying, but you want to make sure it goes fast as well.
Yeah, in terms of Master Sword Mafia, he barely used the Master Sword. That was really well done, and I agree, yeah, totally good use of the green potion. That's probably the best spot to use it at this point, without a doubt.
Yeah, sometimes we see runners having like 4 potions the entire race, and they like never use them at all. Like, sometimes it can be worth used to burning through your resources that you have, and just make sure that you get some value out of it. Now, using the potion, of course, takes a little bit of time, but it's usually not that long, especially now with Quick Swap, where we can use we don't need to do the double menus for it.
Yeah, Quick Swap has seemed to be very well received. I hope it sticks around because it is a really nice quality of life feature.
Yeah, for sure. I'm used to playing a lot of cross-key, so definitely been a big fan of Quick Swap for a long time. It's just like just feels like a good quality of life setting for the game. kind of fits pretty well. It opens up a lot of cool new scenarios where you can use item to your advantage to speed up rooms that normally wouldn't be viable because they menu to that item and then menu back to the item that you need for the rest of the dungeon. It would be too time consuming.
Yeah, I agree too. That come to mind is I see a lot of safeties in the hallway in Thieves Town. That's always nice to see. And Ether clearing out the Stealthos room in GT is some of the, at least the two that come to mind for me that Quickswap has really brought on.
Yeah, there's I think it was Actiboker who like many years ago did like a good explanation of just like one dungeon what Quickswap could do, and like in Eastern you could Quickswap into a new item depending if you had all the gear for pretty much every single room to just make it a little bit faster. And I mean, it definitely means that our runners are going to have to plan ahead a bit more as well. You don't get that short time of thinking when you open up the menu. You're going to have to just like quick swap in advance because you can't just go through the entire menu in like one button press.
All right, Flippers in C-shaped house is going to put in logic what Fear has already done. I don't think Qirn did any of those flipper checks.
Not yet, no. Might be a little bit on the back of his mind because he is probably aware that it's a very common play to do early. So now to see the logic kind of makes you question, oh, maybe there was some early progression in those flipper locations anyways.
Yeah. Adds a slightly more weight to Sora possibly having that fluter lamp we talked about earlier too.
Yeah. Also opens up half of Ice Palace, which is kind of scary when you don't have that one.
It also puts Green Pendant Swamp a mirror away from our dreams, hopefully.
Yep. There's a lot of situations where our runners probably would have been fairly happy with just never finding the flippers at all in this game.
Absolutely. That's the best when you have Pendant Swamp and Crystal Ice and you're just licking your chops for that fake flipper.
Right, so Qirn did head to the back here. I don't think he did every chest in Outcast before doing this. I might be wrong though. Which is a little bit interesting. Either way, they decide to go to the back, which is not always a given when you don't have the hammer. Especially when you get the small key in the front, because that kind of unlocks the rest of the dungeon to be in logic without the hammer, but except for the big chest. So if there's something in the big chest, he's going to isolate that pretty well in a way that he's probably not going back until he's forced to. We'll see if Fear decides to go for the same play.
Yeah, and I wasn't paying attention, so I don't know if we've seen map or compass yet, because I mean, at this point, when you get the key in the front, you don't have a hammer, you go back, you're just, you know, it has to be the map or compass, or you're going to last location what's in there most of the time. So we know he got a big key and a small key. I'm pretty sure he got an item, and I think I recall he got one dungeon item. I could be wrong. I wasn't paying too much attention, but we'll find out here pretty quick.
Yeah, according to our tracker, there's only a compass in the back here. Big shout outs to Joker's wife, by the way, our tracker for this race.
Glad we got somebody smart in the background telling us what we need to know.
For sure. Alright, there's the King of Samaria, so Qirn definitely didn't do everything in the village before heading in, which is... most of the times you would do that at least, because just in case a hammer is in Village of Outcast.
Yeah, pretty unusual not to do those checks without hammer. 100%. He must be... I mean, I think we can sort of infer that he's feeling a little behind. Maybe those flippers sort of set him off a little bit. So here we go, 50-50. We don't want to see a compass, right?
Exactly. We'll probably see a bit of a reaction from Qirn here. Maybe no matter what, but especially if it's a compass. Right, he does get blue rupees, so he's not going to get punished. Fear, on the other hand, looks to be skipping all of Fuse Town, even the front four, which is also a little bit of an interesting play. Or maybe he is heading back. No, I think this is used for the Smith. As soon as he picked up that Smith, he's not going to be able to go into Fuse Town.
Interesting prioritizing the South Dark World with the Smith chain and not just hopping in, especially with boots. The front four of Thieves is super fast, and I mean he only has 3 hearts. Interesting decision.
Yeah, I was thinking if that maybe it would have been like a reasoning having like blue mail, but with only having 3 hearts, you only need to take damage 3 times.
And I think the digging game didn't have anything. I think it had I think the blue rupee was the digging game reward.
Right, yeah, so kinda on the right path here, most likely then. Hype Cave is one of our scenarios with the flippers, does give us access to the East Dark World as well, so we could go to Catfish, Pyramid, and even into Pod as well. Can get everything in Pod except for the boss.
Yeah, if this feels like a Hammer Hype Cave, maybe, right? Maybe, it'd be so nice.
That would definitely be one of the better places for them to find Hammer right now. Even though fearagent has the Smith following him here, does get the flute. That's a very nice place to save and quit, because he can turn in the Smith and activate the flute at the same time. Qirn picking up the Smith, so he's not gonna be, he's not gonna have the quite same situation there. Might feel a little bit bad about not picking up that Smith, but Qirn might not pick up the Smith because he's thinking of going to Pod. But yeah, what I was gonna say earlier was, even if you do have the Smith with you, you can still head to Pod. As soon as you go into the area where the Kiki is, it will actually overwrite the Smith, so he will go back to his original spawn point again.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay, so thinking about logic implications, so now I think we're down to either lamp or I think you said a hammer being in Eastern. I guess it's not guaranteed to be a hammer, but we know that logical Dark World progression would have had to, the chain would have had to start at Eastern.
Yeah.
Seems likely it's probably a lamp to get up the mountain.
Definitely could be, but it's a little, like, the longer you play, it becomes a little bit more scary that, like, what if I've done all of this awkward routing without the hammer in the Dark World, where I could have just had the hammer this entire time. So yeah, it looks like Qirn is just gonna head to Pod here.
Oh, our Smiths are drug dealers today, according to our tracker, Yokozoi. Let's see what we got. Ah, just some love. Some love weed.
Alright, so the diversion is starting to happen here for real now. Fear is gonna check the Meyer area real quick. Did not quite see what medallion it is.
Yeah, that was Ether, yeah.
Alright then, so he can actually full clear Meyer. Not the maybe most favorable or like equipment to have going in, but definitely doable for runner of Fear's caliber.
Yeah, absolutely. I would be shocked if he doesn't go into Meyer here.
He's gonna have to tank 3 hearts for the chest on the spikes, and then he's gonna have to do the dark room without the lamp, which probably will result in 1 or 2 hits from the spike as well. it's a little bit tough to get through that even in the dark without taking damage.
Yeah, I personally think Dark Mire is the hardest dark room section in the game. Honestly, that's one I can do most of the dark rooms, but that's one I avoid. It's a no-go for me. It's pretty tough.
Yeah, it's like the combination of like multiple rooms in a row, and you have different conditional requirements in each room that you have to uphold to continue as well. And there's a lot of enemies down there that can hurt you as well, that you can't really kill as well. So yeah, he's probably going to be a little bit low on health heading in towards the boss here. So he is definitely going to have to play a little bit careful. It doesn't have too much wiggle room to take some extra damage in the dungeon.
Yeah, and I don't think he burned his fairy. Oh, of course, it's Godmire too.
Yeah, he's actually gonna go for the boss right away.
So I think he burned his fairy on Death Mountain. I think one bottle was a B and the other bottle is a green potion that I don't think he's used. So I don't think he actually has any safeties at all going down here. So this is that's some intestinal fortitude.
Yeah, he picked up one heart under one of the pots here, and then he actually got a little bit bailed out for another heart from the Wistro. I say bailed out, but it's just a bonus, really.
Yeah, and he did the mushroom too, and he didn't buy a potion when he was there. I'm pretty sure I watched. I mean, maybe I missed it, but I'm 99% sure he did not buy a potion. He had enough money for when he had 180 rupees when he was there.
Yeah, he might still have been in the mind of not having checked Sora yet and not having Sora money. At that point, you might not want to burn even more money.
Yep.
So yeah, free hearts.
He's made it through the hard part though. Yeah. Pretty much made it through the hardest part though, so he looks like he's gonna make it through okay. So that's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the only downside is he's gonna have to play it very safe on Vitreous, which even if he it's not only about survival, but playing it slow on Vitreous is safe is very slow.
Yeah, those eyeballs can go all over the place.
Yeah, he's gonna equip the bow here, and he does have 30 arrows, but 30 arrows is not quite enough to kill all of these small guys plus the big guy. So he's gonna have to do a couple of spins or something extra as well.
And I believe he can take one eyeball hit, but I'm not sure about the lightning bolt attack. Oh, he does have a blue potion. Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, all right. We've been here worrying for nothing.
Yeah, I guess, eh?
He's taking some intentional damage here now as well to speed up the fight, but now he's at 1 hit KO mode. I think the lightning always deals two hearts.
Qirn making his way through a dark room as well, dark maze, which is looks like he found some items. I missed what it was, but he's death warping back to the front.
Yeah, he didn't seem too upset when dying there, so I think that was just an intentional death warp. Alright, so it looks like Fear has Vitreous down. The last part is fairly trivial when you have this many arrows, so you can just click Y repeatedly.
And our tracker, youngest wife, saying he found a map, compass, and a big 20 in the dark maze. Feels bad. Well done by Fear.
Yeah, for sure. He's gonna head back in though. Don't want to leave those items alone.
I don't think he's gotten anything yet from Maya,
right? Don't think so, no. Qirn's setting up another death warp here. Not kidding. Not very happy about that extra heart.
That's the worst. At least it wasn't a refill piece of heart. That's the absolute worst.
Exactly. I think he's done in pod though, so that probably means he's gonna head towards the pyramid and up to Catfish. Otherwise, there wouldn't really be a reason to leave the dungeon here. You could use save and quit instead.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, yeah, pod completely dry. That's, let's say it's on the rare side.
Gotta say, Fear has been very stoic so far. No, have been seeing any signs of like irritation from the seed or anything like that from his reactions. Or maybe he's just
Yeah, it
like
looks like a man
so
on a mission.
focused that he can't even express himself.
And it looks like he is going to have to do cutscene chest, unfortunately, if my counting is correct. Yeah, we're 45 minutes in and we're still quite a bit from go mode, right? What are we looking for? Maybe not, actually. Need hammer, obviously.
Hammer, Ice Rod, Quake would be enough.
Not too bad, actually.
Yeah, like at this point, you might as well hope for a hammer go mode. Might as well, because that's blocks a lot more locations than Ice Rod or Quake does. So that would mean that you get to like skip more stuff.
Yeah, and I think the last thing they want to see here is a mirror. I know that would be the last thing I want to see.
Yeah, that would be a little bit scary.
Qirn denying the fire shield from our catfish friend.
Yeah, I mean we're slowly but surely getting back to Eastern and Sora being soon enough our only locations left.
Oh!
There is the mirror. That is like the first time in this race I think I've seen Fear react to finding something. He actually, like, I don't know, it looked a little bit shocked and then all of a sudden he looked happy. So, I mean, it's a big item to find. If it's required, then you want to have it as soon as possible.
Yeah, and he worked his ass off for it with that Dark Mire and Vidi fight for sure.
Yeah, we'll see. Qirn might potentially be heading the same direction here after activating the fluid. Fear already turned in the Smith. That didn't really lead to anything, but that does mean that after he's done here in Thievestown, he could just grab the purple chest as well, head down to K45, and then just dash all the way down, turn in the purple chest. And could check Bomba's tablet as well. He might even at that point decide, if he doesn't have the hammer still, to check the first chest in Swamp. It sounds super slow, and it kind of is, but it is a pennant. You might not have to come back there, and like that would be your one opportunity to check it. If you don't check it, then you're like pretty much last location.
Yeah.
That
Ace is in Logic too, right? So we haven't seen anybody go there yet, but the even with Samaria.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting if he goes the Pendant Swamp before Crystal Ice, but the item density is just sometimes just too much. And the efficient routing too, like you said.
Yeah. Qirn setting up the water walk here. He does have flippers, but you can still set up a water walk. You can actually set up a water walk if you have flippers right from Ice Rock Cave. Because when you jump into the water from the ladder, it doesn't activate the water walk, so you can swim up to the waterfall and then jump off there. It does dodge that shallow water though, because if you have flippers and you're water walking and you touch the shallow water, it will break the water walk. Trying to float.
I was gonna say I don't think that works.
I don't think he knows he has flippers. Gotta find out now. No? Okay, he does know. Because he was like jumping into the water pretty much from the same spot you would if you tried to fake flipper out of Hobo.
Oh, that muscle memory, man. Oh, this might be the ice play. Or is he gonna go to Zora here? Okay, here we go. Finally.
Yeah, this is one of the missing pieces if for our Dark World access. If it's not Sora, it has to be something in Eastern, either lamp or hammer, or something leading to those two.
And this has not been a rich seed by any means. If I recall, the only big 300 I saw was on Hylia Island. I don't think we've gotten another one anywhere, if I recall.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Qirn has so much money, I feel like he should have found one, because like he did a lot of farming, but he didn't farm like that much. So I feel like he should have found
picked up a lot of money in Pod.
Yeah, that's true.
In the dark basement, but I guess there's not that much. Yeah, you're probably right.
Ooh, okay, so it's not Sora. That means Eastern has something, and Qirn has that knowledge now. He knows that Eastern has to have something.
So this is where you are kicking yourself, saying, "Man, that Saha dash start is." This is where you question it, right? Maybe I shouldn't do that from now on.
Yeah.
Even though the next seed they'll have like Hammer and Mitt in it, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how long they avoid it, because they could just keep avoiding it and just hope that it's the lamp. But the longer it takes,
Fear's gonna go in there when he does Pod.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good call there, because we know Pod has nothing, and he will be right next to it, so he might just dip in. If he finds the lamp, like first chest or something, he might dip out right away, thinking Hammer's not going to be there. Yeah, it's definitely scary to isolate stuff when you don't have Hammer, because you're already going to isolate stuff automatically, just because of not having Hammer.
Yeah, you including a check like this here, like Hammer pegs.
Yeah. Yeah, like everything in Outcast is gonna be done for Fear except for that one cape. So it's probably not gonna be like a high priority once he finds the hammer.
And unfortunately, we're on the tracks for a potential Ice Rod hunt, which I'm not a huge fan of seeing myself. It can get pretty spicy, but I always like fish and routing a good gameplay to determine, you know, the winner, not rando being rando.
Yeah, that's a pretty hurtful two-punch combo with like first not having hammers, you isolate a lot of stuff, and then you have to search for an ice rod, which could be anywhere. So you have to like go back to every single isolated place. So purple chest not being anything. Gonna head back in, do Bombo's tablet most likely, and after that we'll see what he decides to do. Qirn is not gonna head to the boss right away, so he's gonna get that mirror. So that's gonna be pretty good. He's gonna save a little bit of time here because he'll be able to just leave once he's done here.
Shuffle.
Yikes. You don't like to see that. But he's leaving the portal, so he's not gonna check swamp. He's gonna check that shovel spot and then probably float away somewhere else. He still has pod and everything over there open.
Yeah, actually, the more I think about it, the more I actually don't mind the swamp play at all. It's actually 7 items, right? Because it's the green pendant, so you just finish swamp and run right up the pod and get that extra item. So
right now it would only be potentially 1 item because we're missing hammer.
Oh, yeah, of course, no hammer, duh. There's a big 300 for Fear, so maybe Zora's back on his mind.
Yeah, they might push him towards pod area because he could do it together with Catfish. And he didn't. He actually didn't check the checkerboard here right after finishing Meyer. Probably didn't connect right away. I actually forgot about it too. He did have the mirror.
Yeah, me too.
Check this right away. And there's the hammer.
Oh.
All right.
Incredible! Wow.
Well, he got back to it like fairly soon at least. He didn't do too much in the Dark World before going back. And as long as Qirn remembers to check that, he will get the hammer as well. Means that has to be lamp in Eastern, so good call from both our runners to just stick by the play that you made early.
Yeah, no point in getting it now, right? You've done, once you do the Dark Maze and Dark Mire, that's easily the hardest two dark areas in the game. Yeah, except for a Dark Aga, but we're not going to see that, obviously.
Yeah, it's kind of fun because we did get Fire Rod and Bow early, so it is a potential that the lamp is actually on Armos behind the Dark Room.
Oh, true, yeah.
One of those few times where advanced logic actually comes into play.
Yeah, it just shows, speaks to the caliber of these guys' play. I mean, if I was playing this seed, I would have went directly to Eastern as soon as I got the bow and Fire Up. But these guys had a plan and they stuck to it, and it's going to pay off. Of course, the Ice Rod could be in Eastern too, right? So it's not out of play quite yet.
Sure. Yeah, we're missing Quake as well.
True, true. Oh, Qirn with the restare. He's not happy.
Yeah, he has had a couple of like minor issues here and there, which they stack up quite quickly. Like they might not take that much time, but even like small segments of time can stack up, and even even if you don't lose that much time from it, it kind of feels bad because you like keep thinking that maybe your opponent did like Mire way faster.
So while we're sitting here blabbing, again, shoutouts to our tracker, Yoinker's wife, who's pointing out Qirn did not do the cutscene chest.
Yeah, I actually just looked at his tracker during the fight here, so yeah, he's not gonna be happy with not seeing an item in here. So yeah, yeah, he doesn't look very happy at all. Probably processing if he should go back in or not.
He has just enough to do where you could definitely justify not going back in. This is harsh.
Yeah, this is why I'm not a big fan of skipping cutscene chests at all. Just like do right away. Yeah, this is gonna be tough. He's gonna be missing that hammer for a long time now. Because Mire will probably be one of the last places he goes back to. Definitely it's not over, but it definitely puts Qirn in a bad spot right now.
A cutscene chest of Mire that you skipped, on purpose, yeah, I would be very surprised if that's not his last location altogether. But hey, Rando can giveth and Rando can taketh away.
Yeah, this could be like one of the things that pushes him into Eastern, and if Eastern would have Quake and Ice Rod, then Hammer would be his go mode, and he would have to come back to Mire in not too long from now, because there's not too much he can do without the Hammer.
Yeah.
So that would be like one of the outs.
Yeah, sorry. I guess you're right. Without the hammer and the mirror, I mean, he doesn't actually have technically a whole lot left. So, kind of lucky that the mirror is blocking the hammer in this sense.
Yeah. If it was like mirror blocking Ice Rod, I think it would be like almost impossible for him to come back after that. But there's definitely still opportunities, but it's a big advantage for Fear right now, because the longer he goes without the hammer, the less efficient he's going to be able to do dungeons and stuff like that. Fear has multiple dungeons he can clear right now.
So now the question is does Fear mirror and do Eastern after Pod? I would think probably yes, just because it's for efficiency's sake. You're right here, right? And you.
Don't think he will, to be honest, because at this point he knows it's just the lamp. Well, he knows the lamp is one of the free items, and he does have still crystals that he can full clear, so I wouldn't be surprised for him to just ignore it. But at the same time, definitely can see a world where you just jump in as well, because you do need that Ice Rod, which can be pretty much anywhere, and you don't have Quake, so you can't even search for it until it yet.
Right, yeah, you can't get to the TR, so yeah. Ice is all that's left, and nobody's done Ice yet, so yeah, I guess you're right, yeah, with Ice being out there, and I think there's some mirror checks left here, right? There's Graveyard Ledge I don't think we've seen.
Yeah, we also have Hera, which was blocked by Mirror and Hammer for a long time, which is now open together with the Ether Tablet, and you can do Spike Cave afterwards as well, which is not in Logic yet. Well, it's technically in Logic because we have Massive Sword that we know where Lamp is, so we do have access to the Kino Burnout. So it's like, it's pretty much in Logic. We just don't have the items, but we know where they are. So after this, Qirn is going to have to choose between Ice Palace and Eastern, I think, as his only options. With skipping Eastern for so long, he might actually go for Ice Palace first. With the Cane, he could still do Icebreaker, and as long as he picks up a small key in 1 out of 3 chests, he can still route it like that. So
yeah, I agree with you. I think he'll probably do Ice.
Yeah. And I think like you always start with Icebreaker here because it's like a fairly good chance that you get 1 small key in a chest, and even if you don't, like, then you go with the normal strat. You still get a couple of chests from routing it that way anyways. And yeah, it looks like we're going to Ice Palace here.
Our tracker calling Ice Rod and Ice Palace. Kind of. She said Ice Rod and Ice Palace is a thing, so I'm going to take that as she's calling Ice Rod and Ice Palace.
Yeah, it's would be very thematic for sure.
And Qirn did turn in his mushroom, right? And I think he picked up the piece of heart, so I think fake powder is out for both these guys.
Yeah. It won't matter too much for Qirn, I don't think, because he would need Mirror or Hammer to fake powder. But Fear definitely would have had that open, but yeah, he didn't save it. There's a small key right away, that's nice to see, because now you know you can go for Icebreaker without getting punished. He is gonna hit the switch though. I think this is in case he gets the hammer in here. That will make his routing a little bit better. But I don't know. Even if you find the hammer in here, you're probably full clearing Ice Palace anyways. So, like, even if all 3 items in here are the 3 you're missing for go mode, you're probably getting the big key before getting all of those items anyways. So I think he was probably free to not hit the switch there.
Yeah, I never understand the key logic too well in Ice Palace there, so I always hit that switch regardless. So it's good to know that there's a situation that's more optimal to actually not hit the switch.
Yeah, like the deal breaker is pretty much if you don't hit the switch, you're gonna need the big key in order to get to the boss, because you're not gonna have the pegs switched in a fashion as they would be if you did Ice Palace bomb jump. So if you're like 1 item from go mode or something like that, or in go mode, you do want to hit the switch because you don't want to spend time looking for the big key. But if you're gonna full clear the place, you don't need to hit the switch because you're grabbing every chest in there anyways, which means you're gonna get the big key.
Okay, good to know. Nice.
He also has to do this, which is kind of awkward. If the switch was, if he didn't hit the switch, he could just have walked through that room instead of dropping down and then passing through a couple of screens.
Right, having to walk back up the stairs, right? Yeah, okay. I get it. Nice. So both runners in Ice Palace. We're still searching for Ice Rod and Quake, which could be pretty much anywhere.
Pretty much, yeah. The runners would definitely prefer to find Ice Rod first. That way they don't have to worry about searching for it or like dipping Turt Rock without it, or they could even go mode Turt Rock for sure at that point. Fear is having a little bit of issues with the Icebreaker here. Getting a little bit frustrated. Makes a lot of sense. You're in a race and all of a sudden you have to stand still for a while because you're not getting like the trick right away. That can be pretty nerve-wracking, to be honest.
That can be very maddening. especially when Icebreaker seems like one of those glitches where you either get it first or struggle with it.
Qirn's laughing right now because he's thinking he's gonna get the hammer in here, and he's probably thinking he could have had the hammer a long time ago. We'll see what his reaction is when he finds out hammer is not in here. Probably laughing a little bit less at that point.
I think so.
Alright, so there's the big key. So that means boss is on logic. Let's hope we get a lamp on Armors here. Actually, if the lamp is on Armors, he might still just skip it, because he should know there's only one item left and it has to be the lamp. But at least we would know. We won't see it, but we would know at least. I guess he could beat Armors for the lamp just for the potential pedestal play, but pedestal is way out of reach for him right now, so I don't think he would.
I had to wait. I was going to talk about it earlier, but I didn't want to jinx it. But yeah, I mean, obviously our Ice Rod or Quake could be on the pedestal, which is never fun.
Yeah, it would like make more sense for Fear to do something like that, but for Qirn, he would need Mirror and Hammer before pedestal is even attainable.
Yeah, it's way out of his mind right now for sure.
All right.
So this, this obviously is still out of logic, right? This chest.
Yeah, so it means the lamp has to be on Armos. That's kind of cool. You don't see that every day.
Yep.
All right. Big reaction time coming up for Qirn soon. And disappointment coming up in 3, 2, 1. Okay. That was disappointment for me instead of for Qirn.
We need a cam on you right now. Let's wait for the Armos, because maybe he just hasn't put it together yet.
I don't think it has clicked for him. Yeah, I think he's starting to realize it now.
Yeah, in case if you've never raced this game, or in general, racing is stressful as hell, so definitely wouldn't blame him if, it just, because I mean, we get time to sit here and see the trackers, see where everything is, we get time to put it together, but doing it in the game while you're still executing at these guys' levels, it's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, he's realizing now.
Now it's clicking. It has to be a lamp here on, but he's so far gone in here towards Armor, so he's just gonna finish it. But yeah, that doesn't feel very good at all. So let's think what Fear has managed to do while Qirn had to do these checks here. Fear can pretty much full clear pod, which Qirn has mostly already done. He only needs to go straight to the boss there, so that's not too bad. There's that lamp. But then full clear Ice Palace, which is a bit of a bigger deal, because Qirn was in there, but he didn't get everything. He's gonna have to go back to the boss no matter what. Yeah, Qirn is a little bit stressed. I can definitely understand that this is a very painful situation to be in like a high stakes race when like that you've done some big mistakes, and like what if you lose because of that mistake.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if he has any other checks left, but he's obviously going to pick up his mirror, which should get an interesting reaction. And Fear's going to head into Swamp. Nice. Yeah,
I think it makes pretty good sense. 7 items in total if you count that green pendant. If the green pendant is nothing, he might head into Eastern at that point, because he's in the area anyways. That would be one of the most dense areas he has left. Also have Hera, like, I mean, we're starting to run out of locations, so pedestals are actually starting to become more and more likely, so which is kind of good that Qirn, in that case, actually did finish Armos. So I think Qirn is expecting to find a hammer in here, and he's gonna get the mirror.
That's gonna be.
I'm laughing a little bit, but it's okay. I'm very good friends with Qirn, and we like to tease each other a little bit. So it's like sometimes seeing your friend suffer is like the purest form of joy.
Oh man, I hope he doesn't watch this back. That's so cruel, man. No, I'm just kidding. I feel you, but I gotta see his reaction when he gets this mirror, man. Oh.
Yeah, it makes it like it makes it a little bit less painful, or like I can make a little bit more fun out of him, because this isn't a do or die situation. Qirn would very much like to have a win here for sure. But he's not out of contention for playoffs or bracket if he takes a loss here. So we can actually talk a little bit about the standings. Fear at the moment of this recording has 3 wins, which means if he wins here, he's guaranteed to be #1 in his group. Even if he loses, he's still guaranteed to get to bracket, I think. Qirn, however, he wants a win here, because if he gets a win here, he's in a very good position to move on. But even if he takes a loss, as long as he takes a win against Relkin, they will tie for the 2nd place. And in the time I said that, we did find a Quake here in Swamp. So now we're definitely that ice rod away.
So here's a question. I know you're a fairly prominent runner. Say Fear did not find Quake where he found it. 2 items from Gomo. Do you just do left side right there?
Well, or you go to the back and find the ice rod. I probably would have done what Fear did here. You just go to the back. There's still a fair amount of items over there, and it doesn't take that long. And then you can head up to turn in the green pendant and then into Turk Rock. But yeah, getting the ice rod right away here, this puts Fear in a pretty big definitive lead for sure. He would have to do something. He would have to have some catastrophical failures for this lead to turn at this point, I think.
Yeah, about 1 hour 10.5 minutes is when fearagent got into go mode there. We are looking at a Master Sword Silverless fight right now, so I think you might make a few extra checks in GT, maybe to pop a sword or some silvers. And so, yeah, like you said, Qirn is pretty far behind at this point. He's 4 dungeons behind, actually. Obviously, Pods is straight to the back.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, he's on Meyer. Just the tracker ate the input.
Yeah, but he's kind of like 4 dungeons behind anyways, because he needs to do Swamp too.
Oh, right, yeah.
I actually thought he was going to go Swamp right away when he found the Mirror and Hammer there. Partly because he probably felt behind enough to justify just going into a pendant instead of doing crystals. But also, like, he did take that portal, but he just headed to the Bombos medallion, or tablet instead.
Oh, he said arrows.
Arrows.
Salt in the wounds.
I'm missing a couple of extra arrows. This is good, because I did this recently and he commentated, so now I get to left back a little bit here.
Ah, the payback. Nice.
That's good. He to be fair, he handled it a lot better than I did. I think I missed like 5 arrows in that race.
Ah, yeah, I remember I watched that race. Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, the stress of racing. You know it better than me, but yeah, I can just imagine the stress of racing, especially when you're against top tier opponents, right? And you know they're good. Yeah, you just feel every little mistake.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, especially in like a tournament format. It's like a normal race on like ladder, there's no like real repercussions for losing. You lose a couple of points, but you can gain them back in any other race. But here it's like a pretty high stakes tournament, probably one of the higher stakes linked to past random tournaments that we had so far, because the additional cash prize as well for the winners. So
Yeah,
it's
true. I
definitely a lot
forgot.
of nerves kicking in.
There is Tempered Sword for Fear, so he's probably feeling quite a bit better finding that.
Yeah, so if this holds out, Fear will win the group. I'm not sure what number or letter this group is. He's gonna win this group with a clean sweep with four out of 4 possible wins. And both Relkin and Qirn will be at 2 and 1, and Relkin will be at 1 and 2. So, and their last game is against each other. I don't think it's scheduled as of this moment. Probably will be when this is broadcasted, so check the schedule for that, because that is probably going to be a pretty high praise. If Qirn wins that, he takes the second spot, and if Relkin wins, they will tie for second place.
Yeah, that's going to be some... Man, this is so exciting to watch this tournament. Yeah, there's so many... Pretty much every big name is in this tournament. I've been watching as much as I can, and it's amazing gameplay.
Yeah, and I think like the format of having camera requirements, like every runner might not like that aspect, but I think almost every viewer has definitely appreciated that. Sometimes it's just nice to like get to put like faces next to names of names that you've seen for like multiple years and stuff like that, and just kind of gives us even more insight on what's happening as well, as you see some runners being quite expressive on how they're feeling about the race.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't have said it better. I love seeing the cams. I hope it becomes a staple for a lot of these guys. I hope they keep with the cams, because yeah, it just adds so much flavor to see, you know, they found that troll item, to see their reaction, or, you know, pull off a tough room, etc. So I love it. This is Group F, by the way. F for Fear Agent, apparently.
Yeah, or F as in F in chat for Qirn's race here, most likely.
I was gonna say something like that. I'm glad you said it.
Alright, so Qirn, Fear Agent is about to face Trinex here. This will be his last crystal. At about 1 hour and 17 minutes, something like that, he's gonna get his last crystal and then head into Gannis Tower. So I guess like normally play a big key guessing game, but since this is pre-recorded, obviously we won't have like an official one, but I guess you can still put your numbers in chat if you want to guess it.
Yeah, you'll win the love and adoration of your fellow chat mates, but unfortunately, chat, you're gonna have to police yourself, so we're gonna have to trust you here.
Yeah, and if Qirn or Fear Agent is watching this back when it's broadcasted, you're not allowed to guess.
All right, let's head on into GT and add this run to the pile of sub 130s. These guys have been racking up all week. It's been pretty amazing what Bootstart can do for a seed time.
Half magic coming into play here, as Qirn is used to demolishing Colster with it. One of the puffs kind of escaped a lot of fire shots though, but takes him down as well with the sword there. Tempered sword that we got there from Totrok is gonna be pretty nice for Fear here. It's gonna speed up the rest of the dungeon, or like all of GT pretty much, and especially Ganon.
Yeah, there's a marked difference between Master Sword, GT Gauntlet, and Tempered Sword. Feels pretty nice.
Yeah, for sure. It's like going from Master up to Tempered Sword is like the biggest change of breakpoints you can have in the game in terms of like the weapons, especially since it's a sword, so you're using it way more often than any other weapons as well. And I think like in the NMG route, just the time save on Ganon alone is like pretty much worth picking up the Tempered Sword.
Yeah, I read this somewhere, but it's something like you can basically do Ganon like in a third of the time with Tempered Sword versus Master Sword or something like that.
Yeah, especially since like we don't have silvers, and in silverless, like because in the first couple of phases, there's a couple of strats where you can get a lot of hits in and make it like fairly fast. It's still not gonna be as fast as Tempered Sword, but it's not gonna be like super slow if you do it the optimal way. But that's quite hard. But even if you did that, like silverless, you can speed it up with the Master Sword to like make up that time that you gain with Tempered.
So Fear picked up Cape on the right side of GT. No big key, unfortunately. Maybe it's tile room with that Cape. That you hate to see it, but ooh, not in the Stalfos room. But there's the Ether strats I mentioned a little while ago.
Shoutouts to Quick Swap. Oh, it was on purpose? Oh, that's not as fun anymore. I thought he did it by mistake trying to Quick Swap to Quick Shot, but yeah, you're right. That was definitely on purpose. Yeah, Fear went with the Hope room into, if you get a small key, into Compass room and then full left, which I think is pretty fair to call that the standard route at this point. It's been we've seen mostly that, but also like it's been a little bit of a split. I think the majority has been that standard route, and the other one has been like the Wayne route, where you go straight to Stalfos room and then over to Compass room to guarantee having that small key, and then over to full left after that. And Qirn,
oh no, Qirn, no, Qirn, don't do it.
He is thinking about it multiple times here, and he does it.
Oh, I can't blame him there.
Yeah, that's a hard decision to make. He's just gonna go. I think it kind of both of them make sense. Like he's probably feels behind enough that justifying just leaving the rest, going straight for Tartark makes sense, hoping there's an ice road there. But he's probably also behind enough that just full clearing the rest of Swamp Palace, hoping that Fear would leave early would make sense too. So it's like a really hard decision to make. Luckily, that won't really matter too much because Fear is like so far ahead that that decision alone is probably not what's gonna make or break this. It was more leaving the mirror cost him more time.
Yeah, leaving the mirror and the full Eastern clear.
Yeah, at this point it would have to be like a power outage situation for Qirn to come back in a somewhat like realistic manner.
Yeah, I think even and Qirn's heading in. Oh yeah, I mean he's never gonna find that ice rod.
Alright, I am a little bit surprised he's heading into Hera though, to be honest, because there's the big vanilla placement by the way, but I'm not sure what number that would be. 19 maybe?
Yeah, 19, yeah, because there's tile room and two, yeah, so 19 for the big key. If you guess 19, congratulate yourself in the chat. Spam some interesting emotes. Away you go.
Yeah, GG's to Files for guessing right. Imagine how cool that would be if you didn't.
We'd call you a witch if that happened. Let's just go ahead and take the points for ourselves, I think, right?
Sure, why not? But yeah, I'm actually surprised Qirn goes to Hera first. Like, he definitely feels behind, so he wants to do something to make that up. But Hera, I don't think makes that much sense because you can go into Turtle Rock, and then if the ice road is not there, you can just make that quick trip over to Hera and still save your portal. So like the time loss for going into Turtle Rock first, if it's in Hera, isn't that bad. He's picking up the pendant though, which he would only do if he thinks it's some pedestal, and he did leave Swamp, and yeah, his expression I think says it all. He feels probably like there's no way back in this race at this point.
Yeah, at this point it just seems like, you know, he knows that if it was in Swamp, he's probably lost, and he's just like, let's make the craziest gamble that's left out there just to see, right?
Yeah, and like if it was in Turtle Rock, he would probably expect fearagent to go to Turtle Rock right after Swamp, even if he full cleared Swamp. So it's like that means Fear would have had to have like some really bad routing or some unfortunate mistakes happening for him not to have found that mirror faster than Qirn. Fear's burning almost all of his magic here on the Lambo lost to fight, but it is okay. He does have half magic, and
maybe nervous when he stopped in the mirror.
Yeah, yeah, that's always good with the quick swap. It's like a rite of passage to mirror out of important dungeons by mistake.
What do you mean? I've never mirrored out of Swamp trying to delete those blocks on the left side of Swamp. Never. Oh yeah, he did have a potion. Okay, so
he did have a potion, so he was fine with using it because he did have half magic. So even like still, he would have been safe because half magic he could have picked up the 2 small potions in the torch room, which would have given him enough even if he had 0 magic. But that's
Qirn went the wrong way in the the roundabout room here.
Small key, he probably used check 1 extra chest there hoping for some silvers. He might check the last 2 here as well. Practicing some bomb throws there.
Those bomb throws, that bomb throw is trickier than it looks.
It's kind of funny that he's checking for arrows, because even if he gets the silvers, he only has 2 arrows.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Able to do like all of the silver fight. I will still speed it up though.
It'd be hilarious if these were silvers right here.
Rip.
More love to add to the pile. Yeah, we started off slow, but the mid game just dropped the love on us because what is that? 16 hearts. It's pretty beefy.
Yeah, that would blue mail as well. So like if you were to have green mail, it would have been like over 30 hearts at this point in most situations.
Oh, I don't know if that was a double or a triple because the first 2 hit exactly at the same time, so I think it was a double.
Yeah, I think so too. You can usually tell by the sound sometimes.
Yeah, that one actually sounded like a triple, right?
Even if you hit them like at the same time-ish, you usually hear him like grunt multiple times depending on how many actually registered.
Right. Overall, pretty good Aga. Sorry, you can tell Fear still feels a bit behind, even though there's your silvers in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, he skipped those because he was go moding that. I think Fear was checking the race room at this point. He's gonna do some at least close to sub 130. Sub 130 is definitely possible still. It'd have to be a pretty good Genna fight.
Yeah, it'd have to be mostly triples or all triples even.
Yeah, especially getting like the 1-on-1 cycles would help a lot.
There's a good start, yeah.
Even then, like RNG could play in. You could get a lot of warps, which would kind of make the sub 130 not happen. But if you get a sub 130 or like super close to it at least, like you gotta feel a little bit like you definitely did a couple of things right on this seed for sure. It's just a question of like how did your opponent do compared to what you did? Because there was definitely cleaner routing from what Fear did, but Qirn did not find that. Or I guess I say cleaner routing, but I mean like more like routing into progressions faster. Because they both have like pretty good routes.
Yeah, I thought the routes weren't too shabby. Yeah, Fear seeing TR Silver's what?
Ooh,
the only chest I didn't check in.
Glitch. So,
oh, and he doesn't have a potion.
And doesn't
I don't
have
think he has
lamp.
another one.
He doesn't have lamp either. He should have enough magic, but like he would barely have enough magic. So he's gonna have to be. Oof, that might just be enough to not be enough magic anymore. Let's see. He has 3 or 4 confirmed hits so far.
He doesn't seem to be. He might have another potion. He doesn't seem to be looking too worried about it.
Yeah. Yeah, he must have another potion, I think. Otherwise, he would probably just take a fall here on purpose.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
otherwise you're just wasting time waiting for the inevitable to happen. Alright, he does have one, so he has plenty of magic then.
I think every time tonight I've said, I don't know if he has a potion, he's always had one, so
yeah.
Just trusts in the fearagent.
Yeah, but where does he keep finding all of these potions?
Yeah, remember how poor we were at the beginning of this seed? Jeez, like he must have used at least 5 or 6 potions this seed. Qirn about to get the bad news.
Yeah. And he gets the bad news, and right after he's gonna see the dot on as well. But at this point, he probably feels like it already has happened mentally, because he had a lot of like misfortunes. There's
all right.
fearagent finishing up. GG's to him. He is doing a very good performance in the group, finishing 4-0 in a very competitive group as well, with a lot of like opponents. I would say is very close to each other. I think he won by 2 minutes against one of his opponents. He won by like 2 seconds against another one. So it's like,
yeah,
it's definitely a fine line.
Overall, well done though. Time of 1:30:31. Actually, I'm not sure his official time, but it's going to be somewhere around there. I can't find the room, but
yeah, it
still
should be close
pretty close to 1:30, which is a pretty solid time. And Qirn, it looks like he's going to keep going. I don't know, maybe he hasn't seen the dot done yet. He's just going to confirm that maybe it was in Swamp here. I believe if the guys are available, they can come in for an interview. I'm not sure if they are or not, though, so give it a couple minutes here.
Yeah, we'll see. Actually, don't even, since we don't have the race room up, not sure if Qirn, it's gonna be hard to know exactly if Qirn is forfeited or not, but he is still playing. But he might just want to go find that ice rod before forfeiting, potentially. It looks like they're typing to each other, probably talking about the seed.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be too surprised to see him not finish out the seed, because he still has like all of that left, but he might. Another, like, I think decision that weighed on him when leaving Swamp Palace here was Swamp Palace is like one of the few places where there's no way to recover the portal from Tetrarch if you have to go back here. So, like, if Ice Rod was going to be in here, he knew that he would have to do the entirety of Tetrarch again, not just jumping to Laser Bridge right away.
Oh yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
It looks like
Okay.
we actually have both of our runners ready to come in and have a little bit of a talk about what happened.
All right, we do have Qirn and fearagent here. GG, guys.
Hey, GG's.
Yo, GG's.
GG.
So, first of all, I think that both of you probably have the information on what was the big deal breaker, but it was that mirror in Meyer, which Qirn left behind.
Oh, I thought it was the fact that I did an Aga start. I mean, a Sahasra start, but I guess, yeah, you're right. That is a little more swinging, isn't it?
Yeah, you.
Actually, you both did a Saha start.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, never mind then. I guess it all came down to that mirror.
Yes.
I don't want to sound like a sore loser or a sore winner, because Qirn got randoed for sure. I did not feel like I earned that win. I played so bad, and I just got I feel like I got really lucky.
I don't know, like early game, both of you had a very similar route. Kind of did a few things in different orders, but kind of kept back up. But then after Dark World, a couple of minutes into Dark World, you started to diverge quite a lot. I think you both took like some interesting routes that definitely could have paid off, but like none of them really paid off right away. But Fear went to Meyer first, which was pretty big, and then Fear actually went like into Meyer, got the big key, and did the boss right away, while Qirn did like the reverse of doing everything except for the cutscene chest, and then going to the boss.
So why not do if you're doing everything? Why not do the cutscene chest?
Well, okay. So, I think it's a good play sometimes to skip the cutscene chest, especially when you have an early big key. There at the time for me, there was still quite a lot of checks to do, and the probability was at that point that I would get, it was like 50-50 chance that I'd find the second item on Vitreous, or it would be in the cutscene chest. So at that point, it's like, cool, I can skip it for now, come back later if I absolutely have to. But usually you can just safely skip it. But in hindsight, we were on a hammer hunt. And I think that in that situation, we're like, because it just not having hammer, I mean, having to do like hammerless Ice Palace and, stuff like that. It's no fun.
Yeah, we were definitely expecting a big reaction from you when you checked that vanilla big key chest in Eastern. But I think like on your way to Armless, you started to realize what had happened.
That's exactly it. I was trying to figure it out because I was like, okay, well, I forgot. I was like, as soon as I picked up that big key, I thought, oh, well, okay. I don't know why. For some reason, Armos Knights is not in logic without the lamp, and I was trying to figure it out. It's like, well, maybe there is the lamp in the left side of Meyer, but that's not possible. So I figured it out on the way, and then I figured at that point, I was like, I've lost the race already. So let's just bet that, there's that 0.5% chance that I just didn't figure out the logic correctly, and I'll just go kill Armos Knights anyway.
Yeah, I mean, and at that point, because towards the end, it started to look like Pedestal could have had one of our two items. So that would have been a nice decision not to leave if that was the case. Of course, it ended up not being. How did both of you feel about Eastern? Because both of you skipped it early, was required in terms of logic, but it was used to get up the mountain. But it was a long time where we were wondering if it was really a lamp in there or just a hammer.
I was definitely worried that the hammer was going to be in Eastern, but I don't know. After Ice Palace, I just broke down.
I figured lamp was in Eastern the whole time.
Yeah, once you get the flute and hype cave, it kind of, I mean, all I had left was Eastern or Zora, and I was like, well, I guess we're not getting the lamp today. That was basically my thought.
Yeah, I honestly didn't even consider the possibility that Hammer could be in Eastern until I was in Eastern. I was just like, no, logically, I need the lamp for Darkhold access, so therefore, I wasn't even thinking about it.
Okay, well,
The play though that saved me was not leaving Swamp.
Yeah,
Because if I leave Swamp, then I even if Qirn last location's his mirror, I feel like he would have had a chance to come back from there. So
it's a fun fact that you mentioned that because Qirn actually did leave after getting that. He was very. He had to take a couple of seconds. And
I loved his reaction because we've been done for a little bit now, so I got to watch the replay, and watching the grimace was great. I mean, I definitely thought about it. I was like, you know what? Like, there's a possibility the Ice Rod's still here. Let's go. I was going to leave after the waterfall. I wasn't going to fight Argus. So,
yeah, I 100% would have full cleared out Swamp Palace if I didn't feel like I was hopelessly behind. Like, leaving the hammer left side, or leaving the mirror, which was really the hammer, left side of Meyer, and double dipping, hammerless Ice Palace. I was like, even, at that point, my thought process was, even if I leave Swamp and like hope that the Ice Rod is in Turtle Rock, even then, I probably don't win the race. Like, I'd have to gamble on some crazy big key location too, or something like that. But it was like, at that point, I figured it was my only out, but it took me a while to get through the denial to accept that. But honestly, I was just looking at chat, waiting for Fear to dot done, so I could like go and lick my wounds a little bit.
Yeah, Fear, how many potions did you buy this game? Because I felt like every time we were discussing, I was wondering, he might be out of potions, and then you were able to pull another one out of the bag.
Yeah, I bought 3. So the first time I was there, I got that blue one, which I used in Meyer on Vidi. And then before I went up to do Turtle Rock after I hit Go Mode, I picked up 2 more blues because just in case kind of what happened. I mean, at that point, I was Master Sword Silverless, so I wanted to make sure I had myself covered. And things didn't go great, so I had to use them all.
Yeah, but you got the job done. We definitely were a bit confused for a while because we were pretty sure you didn't have any more potions, and then you just kept going after that torch. Missed the torch glitch and was pretty low magic, but yeah, made sense if we had paid attention. But yeah, this is in terms of standings of your group. I believe Fear, you did a clean sweep of this group with 4 wins, which would guarantee you as the group winner.
Yeah, feels pretty good.
Yeah, definitely GG's to that. And Qirn, your fate is still undecided. I believe that you are at 2-1, and Relkin at the moment is at 1-2. So if he wins against you, you are both tied for second place, I think, and if you win, you're cleared for second place. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's my understanding anyway.
Right. So that is going to be an interesting game to watch out for. I did not see it on the schedule. Have you guys talked about it something?
It's on there. Just might not have loaded for you. I think it's tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern or something like that.
All right. And just to be clear, tomorrow would be the 11th November.
Oh, yeah.
We're not 100% sure when this is going to air.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I can confirm it is on the schedule for November 11th at 3:20 p.m. Eastern Time. Somebody's already signed up to Calm. I wonder who it is.
It's me.
Yeah, if only it worked like that. I mean, with the webcams, you just need to turn on the sound for the webcam as well, and we can have like a full self-running restreams for every race.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about the webcams for like as racers?
Well, I use a cam anyways, probably like 50% of the time, so I don't know, it's not the big deal. I'm pretty sure Qirn does the same too.
Yeah, I also use a webcam. I did feel it was a little different though. Like, I mean, having a webcam but not being able to speak to the webcam makes me understand all like the facial expression memes I've seen kicking around the tournament. Because like, yeah, you want to like communicate, but the only thing you have to communicate with is your facial expression. So, yeah, I find myself making bigger faces.
Yeah, the cams are hilarious and a great idea. I hope they become a staple because it's just so fun to watch people react. You know, praying for the mirror, etc., etc.
I was actually really shocked that the mirror was there. I mean, shocked so much that I saved and quit instead of going and check checkerboard right away. Like I thought maybe the hammer would be there, but when the mirror showed up, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, same. It wasn't even like on my mind because we didn't necessarily need the mirror. Yeah, I mean, it's rough when there's a late hammer seed is rough. I think in terms of the routing variation that can happen because it can be so easy, not just with like double dipping ice, but even small things like just become a huge pain in the butt, like how you get over to pod and stuff like that. So that can create a lot of variance. But then late mirror that actually was necessary plus late hammer, oh, that is a wombo combo.
Yeah, it was certainly like awkward in terms of routing. Almost no matter what, you're always gonna have a lot of like locations isolated.
Yeah, this is why I think that like there's an alternate reality in which like a blind rando is played purely for kicks, and like the main tournament competitive scene is spoiler race, and we'd be like, blind rando, money tournament, blind rando, what's that about? So we live in the weirder timeline, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose there is still a fair amount of RNG even in spoiler spoiler rando. That could still like turn the tides of some of the races, but they would definitely become a lot more predictable, which is probably why they're not as popular, I would imagine, at least.
Yeah, as an avid viewer, spoiler races are they're like an art form. You can appreciate the finer things of how somebody would route in their stuff, but it kind of takes a little bit of the luster off watching guys race where they know where the items is, and most of the time people are screen for screen, most of the top runners, so it takes a bit away from the viewing experience. Still interesting to watch though.
You say that like it's a bad thing that they're screen for screen. I love that. Anyway,
the payoff is good at the end, but yeah.
I'm
gonna get out of here. Thanks for the restream, appreciate it, and good luck, Qirn, in your next match.
Hey, thanks. And Rolkin, don't read too much into the fact that Fear is giving me good looks.
Yeah. All right.
Group F for fearagent. GG, guys.
Yeah, GG's both of you, and thanks again to our tracker, Yonker's wife, and thank you for doing comms with me as well. The GUP one.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a blast. Likewise, right at you. Any last words on the scene, Walter?
Hopefully Qirn won't have to live through a seed like this again against Relkin, no matter who wins.
I'm looking forward to that one quite a bit, so hopefully we'll see everybody there. I believe is it on SpeedGaming? Yeah, I think they haven't picked a channel yet, but I gotta imagine that's an important game and it'll end up on one of the SpeedGaming channels. So
yeah, definitely check the schedule if this is aired before that race to find out.
All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Take care, and again, shout out to the tracker, Yonker's wife, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.